Shalom and good day all, this is Tehillim29 back again for another indie comic review, and for this indie comic review, yes, I'm covering something that is actually an Australian comic. As you can see, it's a part of the Indigiverse, which connects to sort of like Australian writers and writers and artists down here in Australia. And moving into first things first, does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that is happening inside with the story? Sure enough it does, to which I give it a 7 out of 10. But now it's time to move into the area of the internal art as we have a look around the beginning, middle and of course the end, and also what is happening story-wise with the characters and who we'll actually meet here. So as we sort of move into like the idea of the story, this gives us a little bit of a disclaimer of sorts, but also an understanding of who the character will be within the story. The character is called Mangala. I hope I pronounced that correctly. And we learn its connection to the Dreamwalker universe. And we also learned that this story actually has a bit of a connection to Western Australia, and also some of the what would be considered the native inhabitants there. So moving into the beginning of the story, we meet this particular character, who is an elder protector. And we learned that this is actually taking place in the northwest of Western Australia. So it would probably be closer to, I think it's Broome, where we'd probably be looking at where this story is taking place, maybe a little bit further up. And we learn of the character of Jumbayindi, and his part in this particular story. As we start to move a little bit further into the story, we meet one of the female, as they mentioned, the matriarchs connected to this story, and we see in the process that she ends up, something ends up happening to her old man because of a alien / I guess giant invasion. As the story continues, she is then taken off planet Earth, and we learn within the story that she is also pregnant, and she has also lost the child, or in other words, the child has been taken by whoever these particular aliens are, now to be infused with a power that will help her overcome her enemies or her villains. One thing I will give this story is that this character, you do actually see struggle against stronger enemies. So this is actually a story well told. I wouldn't completely call the character a Mary Sue of sorts, because you do actually have this female character have times where they do fall and they do need to try to get back up. Finally, to return towards the end, to which we see the main character at the end. It looks to be in the present, and she has gone through a part of a dreamwalking experience. For the internal art, I give it a 7 out of 10. Now it's time to move in relation to the area of the story. First things first, do we get anything time-wise related? The answer is no, we don't. Next is the location to where some of this takes place. Of course, we have Western Australia, and also whatever took place in space. Where we were in space in the story, I have no idea. The cast of characters consisting of Jumbayindi and also Mungala. The overall story rating I give is a 6.5 out of 10, though it is subject to change in further issues. I felt like there were places in the story where it just needed to possibly use some of the art to tell the story. But one of the things that sort of does take it out of the story is sort of like the language being used. It could have just been had the language in the story be typed up in English, but also point out in the notes that that it's sort of like what's being said here is being said in the character's native language, which you would then indicate to the reader. But at least props for giving the translation of the language overall. Do I think this story could continue to be a better story? The only way we'll find out is in further issues. So for the overall story rating, I give it a 6.5 out of 10. Until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day.